Hey, thanks for joining us on this rainy Tuesday right here on Midday, Kentucky. Everyone, sit back, take your shoes off, and grab a donut. Let me tell you, wafting.
Oh, it smells delicious in
We need
here.
to do a little shout out to North Lime Coffee and Donuts. Thank you for
Just
sending them
drop these
to
up.
us.
I like these Mardi Gras ones.
Is that what
Yeah.
they are?
Yeah,
I thought it
those-
was
those
the Brazil
colours.
soccer team.
No,
colours.
Maybe.
Fat Tuesday.
Fat Tuesday, what does that
Mardi
mean?
Gras. It's in the Catholic religion.
I thought you were saying I was fat
We
on a
have
Tuesday.
no. I would never do that, Troy. But we have Lent starting with Ash Wednesday, and you give something up. So
Right.
this is our day to overindulge in food and drink.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I understand. I wasn't sure what it meant by Fat Tuesday.
Okay.
I'd never heard of
This
that.
is your gluttony day.
This is the Gluttony Day. And what's the name of that famous singer? Hold on.
Oh, Ariana Grande. Yeah, I remember she did.
You're
Don't
like-
pull that. Everyone is cringing in the studio because they
Not
would eat
cool.
these in the break.
No, because I said, you know, everyone knows I'm back on the cleanse diet for the next 30 days, and I cannot be just sitting here. It's killing me.
It's very
'Cause
hard.
The beautiful smell.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
But
we'll
thank
always,
you to North Lime.
We'll
These
always
are
give a shout out
amazing.
to
Yeah.
anyone who sends us a little gift to eat in the
Oh,
commercial
yeah. We'll
breaks.
bring it on the show.
So thank you. Hey, I wanted to touch base with you and tell me what you think about this when it comes to happiness. All right? Happiness has much less to do with life circumstances than you might think. A University of Illinois study found that most people who earn the most, more than 10 million annually, all right?
It's got to be what fraction
Yes,
of the
exactly.
population?
Are only a smidge happier than the average Joe and Jane who work for them. Unhappiness can catch you by surprise. So much of your happiness is determined by your habits. Here's
believe
my
that.
question. Is when you are unhappy or happy, do you think it makes such a big difference in your life? Now, when I say unhappy, I don't mean illness or things,
Yeah.
unhappiness about how you can quickly give yourself a bit of, like eating a donut.
Yeah. Well,
What do you think? Can you control between happiness and unhappiness?
yeah, I think you can control your habits. And I think this goes to say, I've read a lot of studies about it's your attitude, not so much your situation, that dictates your happiness. So maybe by consciously understanding your triggers, you can just change some habits. And I think you can be happier.
I think it's a mental state of mind, but I mean, some outsiding factors, maybe it is massive debt, can weigh
Yeah.
on your
Yeah.
happiness. And that's
Well,
maybe
this is
where
where
the-
we're going with now.
the 10 million.
It says 5 traps that limit your happiness. Holding your feelings in. I have to be honest with you. I have to say it how it is then and there, and then I'm done. You know that with me, guys. I don't hold
No
it back.
secrets there.
No secrets. No, and you are right, because I would rather be honest with you and tell you the truth, and I hope I don't slam you by doing it, but I just feel if you hold everything in, it's not good.
Yeah, I think that's a big roadblock in happiness,
and
holding
also-
things in, especially if why you're unhappy has to do with someone else. Sometimes
In
they
a
really don't know
relationship,
that
you've
you're
got to
upset.
say it.
Yeah.
Agree?
Yeah, I agree.
What do you reckon?
Get it out there.
Get it out there.
So then don't complain next time I get it out there.
Okay.
All right.
Well, so I think
Okay.
you need to work on the way you approach.
Troy needs to
getting
work
it
on
out
his
there.
delivery
Okay.
with letting people know the truth.
Yes. All right.
don't mean
Those,
it.
those are just
Okay.
pointers
I try.
from the people that deal with you a lot.
Okay, Aussies, we get, we just,
Yeah.
it is. Numbing yourself with technology. I wasn't quite sure what that means. Everyone deserves the opportunity to binge watch a TV show now and again. I'm not quite sure what they mean by that. I think it means getting away from your iPhone, becoming more social, and
Well,
getting out there with a human touch.
If you just get lost in television for a day or two at a time, I don't think you're going to socially, be happy.
Well, we sit on our phones a lot. You're not very active on social media.
Not only during severe weather.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, of course.
I mean, for the most part.
But I think some people,
That makes
by
you happy.
numbing yourself
Yeah.
with technology, I mean, sometimes if you're overwhelmed, and tell me if you guys have done this, I'm sure you have, you're overwhelmed with the things you have to do after work. I'm like, I need to, like you said, work on bills you need to pay, or
Yeah.
you need to go to the gym, and you need to pick up this, or run errands, and you feel so overwhelmed by it, you don't do any of it. Like you just come back, and it just feels better to
table it
you're like,
and
I'll just do it tomorrow,
I'll
I
get
can't
back.
think of it, and then you end up watching Netflix all night, and then the next
I
day,
think we've all been there.
you're still unhappy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is something that's interesting, spending too much time and effort acquiring things. I have to be honest with you, there's a bit of a buzz to go shopping. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when people go out and you spend a few bucks at Macy's or Nordstrom's or, your favorite, where do you go? Ross? you know,
Well,
your favorite
sometimes
store to
when
get
we need-
your good shirt.
We need a white shirt, yeah.
It gives you a bit of a buzz.
I enjoy
have to say-
shopping. For a man, I think I enjoy it more
Can
than
I
most.
tell you something? I have been and go shopping, but I love the buzz. But when I get home, I just leave it in the bags and.
And put it in the corner of
Well,
the room.
yeah,
but-
because the buzz is gone.
But
I don't want to
get
have
a
to wash
constant
it.
buzz from that because you know I pretty much
You're
only
Amazon
shop
queen.
online. So I'm on Amazon like multiple times a day, and it gives me a little high, a little buzz, just surfing through, see what's there, check my cart,
Good for you.
see the price changes.
Waiting for the future, telling yourself, I'll be happy when. You know what? When is now, people. That's
Yeah.
the way I look at it.
Yeah.
The future, next exit.
Yeah, I never look at anything about what's happening next month or the week after. It's now. What am I happy about now? Last one, fighting change. You know what? Change is going to happen.
Yeah.
Agree?
Sometimes, though, when you're stuck
Don't
in your
fight it.
ways, it comes abrupt.
Well, I get that. I get it.
But eventually, you'll transform and get over it.
All right.
You like to think so, at least.
Well, we do try. Hey, from unhappiness, and we're trying to help you not to be unhappy, and this may make you unhappy, we're talking about job interviews and what you should and shouldn't say.
Yeah, so I was reading online that a recruiter is recommending, and I have seen this from other recruiters, they recommend women with engagement rings not wear them to the interview because they say, it was sort of an informal study, but I wanted to get your take on this. They say women are less likely to be hired for multiple reasons. Now, a lot of times we think of this, I've heard it before saying, you know, a young woman, maybe late 20s, early 30s, they
Yep.
see you're married, they think you might go on maternity leave, and they shy away from hiring you. But then what I saw in this study, they talked more and said the issue is if you have a large engagement ring, you're seen as high maintenance, and you'd be a diva in the
really?
workplace. And I thought, what about a man wearing an expensive watch or something? I don't know.
Exactly.
But yeah, that they talked a lot about that.
Wow, I didn't read that part of your survey.
What do you guys think?
Well,
I've never.
I'll let you take
okay,
it.
We'll get to you, but I've never. I've never actually hired someone. I've never had a business,
Yeah.
so I've always been on the other side.
Well,
of
have
the
you
table.
held something back from an employer?
I don't have secrets.
Okay.
No skeletons in this
Well, I
closet.
think we can find a few, let me tell you.
Don't challenge us.
You just put a challenge out there, my friend.
Well, we'll see. But go
okay,
ahead.
well, all right, let's use this. Just a very simple one to begin with. You starting a job and not telling your boss that there might be an upcoming wedding in, say, 4 or 5 months that you want to attend.
Well, how do you feel about that? You're the only one here at the table. You've been a former business owner.
Yeah.
So how did you handle interviews
Look, the
and,
thing is,
and talking to people about that?
in Australia, it's very different to what it
Okay.
is here. You have a lot more rules and things you can and can't say.
Okay.
Here, you can't ask if you're single or married or
Religion,
pregnant.
sexual
or
orientation,
in
all
Australia,
Right.
we're straight to the point. And in my interviews, and as you know, I've had many, many staff, and we would ask if you were married or single.
Is that
or-
allowed under Australian law?
Yeah, it sort of is.
Or is it more a culture thing?
It's more
kinda
of a
off
culture
the record?
thing.
But do you think culturally it's more accepted in a way? Like people wouldn't, maybe not with
I
the
don't-
marriage thing, but in terms, like you said, if you're gay or straight, are you less likely to be criticized in the interview process because of that in
I
Australia? Or why
actually
do you think
think-
there are no laws with that?
Well, I also think because employers in Australia, in Australia, you get paid a lot more money.
Okay.
A lot. Even just as a waiter, you're on $23 an hour.
Wow,
Do you know what I
okay.
mean? So we sort of feel, and I'm not meaning that in a bad way, that you can ask a lot more questions.
So what kind of things would you ask in interviews, and how do you factor that in?
I would, and I don't want that to be judged on me. I would actually ask if I did see an engagement ring, when are you getting married? You know, and if they said in 3 or 4 months' time, I would probably not have considered them for the role. And it also depends on what their role would be.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know?
What if you had a big project coming up
Yeah,
then?
I
I
probably
understand.
wouldn't have done. And I'm not saying that I feel like that now. You've got to remember that was my job in Australia.
Yeah, where
So,
things are
yeah.
different.
We're equal opportunity employers here in the US of A.
But I think it's interesting. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm not engaged or married, but I don't know if I'd feel comfortable not wearing a ring to an interview, getting a job, and then when I start 2 weeks later, I have a ring
Like,
and I'm
yeah,
married.
this didn't just happen over the
So
weekend.
I don't know how I feel
Yeah, but okay,
about
I want
that.
to flip that. How do you have those telltale signs from a guy? Like we're talking about seeing if a woman's pregnant, seeing if a woman's got an engagement ring. That's very based towards women. What are the questions that we ask guys? You know?
But see, a man, already being married, if their wife has a baby, traditionally they're not taking a lot of time off work.
Yeah,
so I don't
maybe a
think
week.
men are as stereotyped for those things. And I think that's why these laws are so harsh here in America, because they do target more towards women and make the man more marketable for the job.
I would actually, as people who are either tuning in or have watched, I've owned salons in Australia, hairdressing salons, and I would ask young guys who were coming on to be apprentices if they lived at home or if they lived away from home. Now, they were talking 18-year-old young men, and if they said they lived away from home, I'd say, oh, how many flatmates have you got? Housemates. If they said 5, I'd reconsider, because I'm thinking, Friday night you're out partying,
The
Saturday
frat
night.
house.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I could see
because
that.
I have to think about the business down the road, and I don't know.
And I think some of those, it's a fine line to know
Yeah.
what are these lifestyle questions that are fair, and how can you protect the employee as well. So
listen,
I don't know.
I've got to jump on this next one because I really love it.
I like
because
this
is
one
something
too.
that talking about military.
Military,
and
mandatory service. And there's a couple countries around the world that this is the norm. You get to a certain age and you put in your year or 2 years.
Yeah.
One of them is Israel, Norway, North Korea, and Bolivia. But we don't do it here in the U.S., and people even say the draft or the Selective Service Act is becoming extinct unless, if there was World War III, there'd be lines of people.
Would you, how do you feel about that?
I think it would be good for a couple reasons. As far as a disciplinary standpoint, I think that year would kind of set the pace for your future career. You'd probably learn some pretty good skills.
Yep.
And you'd probably be a little healthier by the time you get out of there too, because you're doing a lot of push-ups, a lot of cardio.
For
and
1
stuff
year,
like that.
so you're thinking 1 year mandatory
I
service?
don't think we could enforce it here in America, but I think other countries, I do think it's
For
a
men and
good
women,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's patriotic. And I've been reading a lot in the last few months, studies about Israel has one of the lowest rates of PTSD in the world. And they found that that's because everyone's been in the military. There's no stigma to come back and talk about it. You can come back and talk about what you've gone
'Cause
through
we've all been
because everyone can relate. I think military men and women, when they come back and they've seen these horrific things and these brave actions they've been doing, but it's hard then to relate to the general society where you're just at the donut shop or you're doing these casual things where then you can relate to people. So sometimes I think it's beneficial in countries where everyone understands what it's like to serve.
I may be incorrect here, but here, even in the U.S., sometimes people are given the option of, do you want to go to jail or do you want to go serve in one of our armed forces?
That'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah, we'll have to look that
Yeah.
up. I'm no expert on that.
Yeah, look, I remember my grandmother said to me when I was 16, she said to me, you either get a trade, Troy, or you're joining the army. And it was good for your father and uncle, it's good for you. I was on that train to the big smoke so fast, you didn't, there was no smoke on that train. I was pushing it. It was like
But,
crazy.
it's impressive. And then I guess you just have to think, is everyone built for that? Because think of, the bravery,
No,
the
that's true.
sacrifice,
Well,
and what it takes. So that's not taking away taking the credit away from the men and women in the military. Not everyone can do that job.
Yeah.
They're, qualified.
Well, I don't
and
think
really
everyone
good,
would be
so-
a frontline
Yeah.
person. There's other stuff you can do, but yes.
Hey, listen, we want to hear more about your views and thoughts on that. Jump onto Midday Kentucky's Facebook page and let us know.